It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're reacting to having a discussion about a video from Choy titled Dead by Daylight is dying, is it time to move on? And to answer that question, I would say yes, it is. And I wanted to dive into this topic. We've been talking about how DBD has just been a shit show for, just time and time again. I think it's just getting a little repetitive. And I just wanted to hear what Choy has to say. Especially because the thumbnail is very interesting, especially with like a whole Weekend at Bernie's thing, sort of implying that the devs are kind of like showing that as if it's alive, but it's really not. And I want to hear what Choy really has to say about that.
Started at the beginning of this year when Almo, I don't know if he retired or left the company. I think he was kind of the last obstacle. And now that he's gone, the devs can finally pave the way into this new era of what they want to make Dead by Daylight into, which is this like just slop product, make as much money as we can off of it, you know. And keep in mind, and this is important, every other project Behavior has ever tried to work on, Meet Your Maker, Death Garden, whatever other ones there were, they've essentially all failed pathetically. And not just failed normally, like pathetically failed, embarrassingly failed, right? So it's not like they're masterminds of the art. They don't have any idea really what they're doing. They sort of just got lucky with Dead by Daylight, and they were in the right place at the right time, because many of the other ASIMs that have existed not only were just fundamentally better than Dead by Daylight, but just got taken out of the game.
I 100% agree with Choy on this. Every single game Behavior has ever decided to put out has completely failed. And that just kind of goes to show, because I even remember when Meet Your Maker like was dropping or something around that time. I thought it might have seemed slightly interesting, and then that was it, right? That's all I've ever heard of it. And I think it was actually added in as like a PlayStation Plus bonus or something like that for like a monthly game. And they even like tried to promote it on even DVD. Nobody cared. Like, it was such a dog shit game, I think, from like just from my understanding. And it wasn't promoted very well, and it was also just, it did not seem very interesting. And that is probably the same thing for the other games that they decided to come up with as well. And even furthermore than that, I have zero interest in their games as a whole. I mean, it's their dog shit, like they're dog shit devs. And even more so, to touch on what Choy was saying before, like becoming like sort of like Dead by Fortnite, sort of becoming like, you know, Dead by Slop or whatever you want to call it, Slop by Daylight. Honestly, like, because like I 100% agree with it. I think like I've always made this joke, even I've always made this joke like where I describe DBD to be like, they should just rename it to just like Surviving by the Sunrise or something like that, because the killers are basically walking around with a bunch of pillows on their hands, and and everybody's got on like medieval armor so that it does 0 damage to them at this point, because of how much they've gone full mask off and said, we don't care about killers, we don't care about the players. And it's just awful. Like, it's awful management of the community, awful management of the PR, of course, which just ties back into that, of course. Just the way they respond to things, the smugness, just like the mere fact that they just simply are not even taking into account at all an unbiased perspective of the game. Like, they specifically only play Survivor, they only care about Survivor, they want to overbuff Survivor, and they don't care about anything else. And it's like, why? Like, these killers, Myers especially, was the one thing that got your game to actually goddamn go like explode into popularity, and you're just gonna disrespect the entire side because, oh, I like Sable, I like playing Survivor all day long. Like, really? Like, is that really what we're gonna get rid of the entire game for, because of that?
Due to things that were kind of bullshit. But that's not to say that it wasn't the other devs' faults, right? I think it was like, Gun, are we kidding? Glue sniffers of absolute another level that we didn't even know could exist. My point is that Behavior got lucky in a lot of ways. And now that they can kind of do whatever they want with the game we know is dying, and this new game is emerging out of it. The game of just make money, sniff glue, don't think of the consequences. And behavior from their perspective, this is really what I think. They're looking at the game and they're going, wow, look at the numbers. Everything we're doing is so phenomenal. We're all so smart. But what I think the devs don't realize, and some people might say, Choy, that's ridiculous, but in reality, those numbers are not coming from their balance changes to the game, making Survivor piss easy without any effort needed to win your matches unless you're going against like an S tier killer, making the killer role just absolutely beyond miserable to play in pursuit of trying to appease some baby that's gonna rage quit the second they hear a tear radius they don't like. It's like they think it's working, like I said, because of the numbers, but the reality is that it's the slop that is carrying the game. It's Five Nights at Freddy's coming to the game, right? It's just the endless garbage content. I mean,
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. I mean, I don't really know why behavior is going in this direction. I really don't know why they want to make it surviving by the sunrise instead of it being dead by daylight, but that's just what they wanted to do. And I don't understand it. Like, I don't understand why that's the direction they want to go. Because like you would think that if you can give enough to both ends, you're going to be able to get a massive payout, right? Because if you're giving really fantastic cosmetics, you make killer feel amazing to play, and you give and you also can have survivor feel good to play as well, and both sides are having fun, and you're making good cosmetics, you're gonna basically get like a lot of money back, because people are gonna want to buy those new chapters, they're gonna want to buy those new perks. And if you're showing that you actually care about, or at least seem to care, I always make that point, they don't have to actually care, but if they at least seem to care on the surface, and at least are focused specifically on trying to create a good product so that people can consistently give the money for it, that to me makes more sense than doing whatever the hell they're doing right now. Like, because completely alienating an entire half of the player base, or a little bit less than that, just so you can appease a bunch of rage quitters, is only just gonna rot the game out. Because then who's playing killer now? Like, who's gonna do that? Because anybody who does is not gonna play anymore. So what are you supposed to really do? And you know, and it's funny because like people will just look at the surface and say, oh, right now it's fine. But just like I predicted months ago, where it's gonna be super survivor sided and we need to go into a different direction, and then they continue to do that until now, I'm basically knowing that I'm gonna be able to predict that this game will start to have even longer and longer and longer queue times for survivor, because nobody wants to play killer. Because once they do, they'll realize this is dog shit. Like, why would I want to play this? And we're seeing this time and time again. We're seeing this with the forums. We're seeing this in YouTube comments. We're seeing this with content creators who aren't even playing killer anymore. I don't even want to play killer anymore. It sucks. And there's a lot of content creators that I even know personally that have just stopped playing in like the game entirely. Like, they don't even play it at all.
This rift we got, easily the worst rift in Dead by Daylight history, easily. But it wasn't like it came out of nowhere. Like, the last 3 rifts have been getting progressively more atrocious. I almost didn't buy, I didn't buy the last one, and I almost didn't buy the one before that. So this is the second rift in Dead by Daylight history since it started that I've just said, no, I'm good. That's way too pathetic. And now this,
I do agree that the riff was dog shit. I think I already had auric cells, and I was already like a good amount of levels in that I was like, I'm gonna get refunded my auric cells anyway, so I just went through with it and just got it. And I think that's why I even had had gotten the rift in the first place, because the rift was trash. I was like, I only wanted maybe 1 skin, which is what happened even like previously as well with the other rift I think we had. I was like, I only just wanted the 1 skin. The rest of the stuff is just garbage, trash. Like, I'm never gonna use, because I'm like, most of the cosmetics are survivor. Like, every 3 levels, boom, survivor this, boom, survivor that. I'm like, I don't need this trash. Like, throw it away. I don't care. Like, give me what I'm looking for. Like Wraith skin, yes. Dredge skin, yes. Like Trickster, god damn it, why? Like, you know, and it's like, you know, whatever, man. Like it's just the riff was so bad. But I'm like, hey, it was free, so I was like, I'll just whatever. Like,
For those who don't know, there was a Claudette cosmetic in the Rift, a paid cosmetic, right? And it's terrible. It's not even good. But the headpiece isn't unlocked in the Rift. Behavior says, sorry, there was a little bit of a hang up. We're not going to be able to get that headpiece out until 2026. Until 2026.
I wouldn't have honestly known that unless Choy would have said, because I just cared so little about those cosmetics that, like, I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm never gonna use it, so I'm like, whatever. Like, you can do whatever you want. And it's not to condone it. It's more because I just don't care about that. I'm like, because it's like, it's just more slop. Like, I don't care. It's like, oh, there's a little extra corn in your slop today. Like, I don't care. Like, throw it away. I don't want it. Like, and then, but for the few that do care, it's even more frustrating for them because they were like, oh, cool, a new Rift. I can get some more cosmetics for my Claudette. And then it has nothing. You're missing the headpiece. Like, what the fuck? What? Like,
cosmetic that they're apparently outsourcing. Who else outsourced to glue sniffers? Gun. You will never appease people who quit in the first 2 seconds of a match. You just won't. There's nothing you can do. Right? There's nothing. But the devs think they're cooking because of the numbers. So not only is Dead by Daylight, the game we know from 2016, basically dead, but the game that they're trying to go forward with, Dead by Daylight 2, whatever you want to call it, Dead by Fortnite, I honestly don't think it has
No, it's surviving by the sunrise. That's what it's called. You know, you have to remember that, because remember, they're not gonna ever die anymore. You know, they're invincible. The hand of God will lift them off of hooks and place them into the exit gate for them. So it's called, it's survived by the sunrise. We already know that. That's the real name.
Like, if there was any competition, I think you give this game like if they're lucky, like a 2-year lifespan. If they continue on this trajectory, maybe they change it up. Maybe they realize, hey, this is garbage. Like, it's not gonna work. We've betrayed our entire loyal fan base in pursuit of glue sniffer Fortnite players, and now there's a new cool Fortnite season and they don't want to play Dead by Daylight, so now we have 30 people playing the game. Obviously that could be wrong. Maybe the slop is good enough. Maybe the slop keeps the game afloat forever. Who knows? Right? There's not many places where you can have this Super Smash Brothers experience of all these different horror characters. And
that's the unfortunate aspect about DBD that I think is what keeps it afloat, and I think that's what is so sad about the game, is the fact that, like, this game, I can't, oh my god, where do I even begin? This game as a whole, I wouldn't say is a game that I've ever truly enjoyed. I would say, even since I started, like, the only times I think I genuinely had fun was 2v8, and then obviously that has long since died, because I realized that it wasn't the 2v8 that I found fun entirely. It was the experiences I had with, like, colleagues or community members or other things like that, friends, whatever you want to call it. That experience to me was the fun part, and I realized that spending that time spending that time was the more enjoyable aspect than the game itself. Because now with the current 2v8 and the fact that a majority of people are not playing killer anymore, a majority of people are not even playing DBD anymore, and I'm essentially, like, I did attempt to even, like, go in solo and just see how it'd be like, and I realized, like, I'm not having any fun. Like, this is just as bad as 1v4, if not worse. Because, no, not even if not worse, it's genuinely worse, because of the fact that I'm forced to play survivor matches that I already find boring as it is. I've already dedicated 400 hours to survivor. I don't find it fun. I put enough time in to know exactly what I think, and I'm like, I think that's enough time. I think 400 hours is enough time to know I'm, like, nah, this is boring. Like, and that's not to knock anyone who enjoys it. That's not to say that your taste is bad or anything. Obviously, do not take that away from this statement. I'm just speaking my own opinion of my own perspective of just what I think, and I just think that I'm not enjoying it when I load it up. And unfortunately, when I even have to play 2v8, I'm forced into 2 matches of it, and there really isn't much I can do. So that is really like my biggest problem with it.
Regardless of whether the game lives or dies going forward, Dead by Daylight 2, Dead by Daylight 1 is on its deathbed right now. And everybody feels it, and that's why there's this weird feeling of like the game is dying while it's also being the most successful it's ever been. Now, the question that comes out of that is, do we quit playing Dead by Daylight, right? Like, do we quit playing Dead by Daylight? A lot of people have. I've seen a lot of people either completely move away from Dead by Daylight now, they don't want to play it anymore, or they're playing it way less.
I'm in that boat where I don't play it at all until, you know, until there's a stream that I want to do. And I would love to move away from the game. I would love to, but the problem is obviously it's still a Dead by Daylight, unfortunately, a Dead by Daylight channel. It wasn't meant to be that from the beginning. It really just wasn't. It sort of evolved into that, and you know, now we're in this hole where we're like, it still has to be DBD content, or you know, say goodbye to your channel pretty much, and that is not a good feeling. Especially when the game is a sinking ship. It's like, what do I do? Like, what do we do next? You know what I mean? What do we do? And we're basically just trying to find a way off the Titanic and have a raft somewhere so that we can make it out. And that's essentially what it's like dealing with this game right now. Like coming from the content creating space, like is essentially that. Like, what is the next step? And unfortunately, it's not that easy, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, and I already know a couple of other content creators that have stopped playing the game entirely. So like, or at least have like either has stopped entirely or are just like putting a pause.
And I'm guilty of playing it way less myself. Now, quitting outright,
and I don't play it much either, I should mention that too,
sounds a little bit pathetic to me. Like, I don't, like, it's not, we're not married. This isn't a divorce. Like, if there's something else I want to play, I'll just play something else. And if I want to play Dead by Daylight, guess where I'll be? I'll be playing Dead by Daylight, whether I'm disgusted by the game or not. It doesn't have to be dramatic, but everyone can make their own decision. And if you guys say, you know what, Choy, this game sucks, get out, I don't want to play it anymore, I totally understand. You've seen people quit or move to Survivor? Yeah, some people also moving to Survivor. Because not everyone, S-tier killers just don't appeal. They don't appeal to me. I don't want to play S-tier killers all day. Blight, Nurse. What is Momo on right now? He's on like a 1,500 win streak with Nurse and like a 1,500 win streak with Blight simultaneously. The dude's on like a 3,000 win streak with S-tier killers.
That's the thing, man. Like, I would probably play S-tiers if there was like an appeal to that, I guess, like when it comes to you guys like that are watching this, or people that join the streams and things like that. If there was like an appeal to seeing me play like the strongest characters, then I would probably lean towards that and go, okay, well, I guess I can try that, and maybe it might be enjoyable. But the thing is that there really aren't really many S tiers that I think I would want to spend time playing, because as a whole the game doesn't feel very good, and like my interest within the S tiers is quite limited, because it's like I'm not really interested in Nurse, and Blight is like kind of cool, but then I'm like, I don't really think that that's going to be my thing. Like, it just, you know, it doesn't completely, like, I can't resign it, like not resign, but I can't lean into all of that and say, oh yeah, that's the thing, I'm gonna do that, because like it's oversaturated. Like, everybody plays Blight, so it's like, okay, boring. And Kaneki, same thing. Like, it's like I could play it, it could be kind of fun, but then it's like everybody plays it, and I'm like, like it's not really, there's not really much appeal there, at least from my perspective. So I don't know. I don't know where to go from there. You know what I mean? Because there's just simply not any other characters that are really viable beyond S tier now.
It's a fucking single player game, dog. That's not you just being like the best player in the world. Sorry. Like, I don't mean to burst your bubble, but you're playing a fucking single player game. Just like these 4-man Swifts loaded with every advantage in the world are playing Left 4 Dead. They're not playing a PvP game. Actually, that's an insult because Left 4 Dead's a better PvP game. It's more balanced. But they're playing a 4-player co-op game against AI. It's all these... And, you know, the devs think they have the right to put MMR in a game that is not whatsoever balanced for the high level. But that's the thing. All these videos coming out about what Dead by Daylight needs to do, balanced talk, 2-hour PowerPoint presentations, no matter how phenomenal they are, pointless. The devs don't give a shit. They're not listening. We need to figure out a new way to speak to the devs if we actually want to change their mind. And the only thing the devs think about is the game on a shelf in a store. They're not thinking about the experience of the actual game. They're thinking, how do we sell units? How do we make our investors from China happy? How do we make NetEase proud of us?
That is exactly 100% accurate. Choy is hitting the nail right on the head. That is where the game is now. It is not even remotely concerned with your time, your experience. It just doesn't care. The devs don't care. And I've said this many times. The devs do not care about you. The devs do not care. They don't care about killers. They don't care. So, yeah, I mean, those are my thoughts. If you want to watch the original video, it'll be linked in the description, of course. But I don't want to take up too much of your time here, of course. And you can watch the full video on your own. Support Choy, and just make sure you go ahead and let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And while you're down there, consider supporting the channel by becoming a member for exclusive content that has, you know, like better things that are not just DVD stuff. And let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Well, I wanted to go ahead and take some time out to thank all my members from Patreon with Crow King 101, my YouTube members, Majora Jeff, Endire, Evil Peachy YT, Zero Mocker, Christian, Hexdev, and Crow Vader, and for my Twitch subscribers, Cake is the Road, Danica 2002, Final Girl _Bunny, Acklefin, Chili Cinderace, Zero Mocker, Ginsburg, Johns 117 _ Lovely Ghost TTV, Jar TTV, Zazaboo, and Crow Vader. Just wanted to thank you guys. And if you also want to have your name read off at the end of every video, make sure you join on one of these platforms to get one of those perks, as well as the other perks you get. So appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much.